Okay, good evening. You know, I've always been very honest and open in my approach. Um, for those of you who've watched my YouTube videos, um, and this is a topic I want to talk about, just to hear your views and what you think, and let you know what's going on. I always like to keep you guys updated, and girls who watch the YouTube channel, and thank you for your support. One of my biggest frustrations at the moment is not so much getting interviews, but the process of getting interviews can become very tiresome and demoralizing. There's one thing when you talk to somebody on Twitter and they say to you, "Yeah, love to do the interview with you." Now, some of these people have already seen your videos. They may have done, or they may not have done. You give them the benefit of doubt. They're busy people. They're public figures. I'm going to talk specifically about boxing here because it's a sport that I love. I'm not even going to talk. I'm not even going to go into talking about cricket because that'll get me started in another rant altogether. But we're going to talk about boxing here. And as you may or may not know, I have done a few interviews. Been very fortunate to interview some of the fighters, the trainers, promoters, and I'm really grateful. And I'm really grateful because they could have said, "Who? BaylorIC TV? Who? What? Inside story? Who are you?" and not give me the interview, and that's fine. And there are some people out there that have that sort of arrogant behaviour, ignorant behaviour, which is fine, and that's just the way it is. And I'm not begging anybody, but at the same time, what I have a big problem with is when we have a conversation, you tell me to do an email, to email you. I email you a professional, official document, and you cannot take the time to even send back an email to say, "You know what, we can't do the interview," or "We're not interested in doing the interview." Why do it? I have to take the time to email you. It's not just your time being wasted, it's my time being wasted as well. If you don't want to do the interview, just don't do the interview. But don't, if you're on Twitter, you know who you are. Don't on Twitter just turn around and say on Twitter, "Yeah, we'll do the interview," so it looks good in front of everyone on Twitter, and then when it comes down to it now, you won't do the interview. I know that there's some people that don't like the style of BaylorIC TV, but bottom line is, inside stories about finding in-depth information about the person that's on the show. It's about finding out what that person's all about. My biggest problem with boxing today is there's too many short interviews. Not disrespecting anybody who does short interviews, it's great. But when we're really looking to build profiles on fighters or promoters or trainers, we really want to get to know who they are, what they're really about. Like I've said before in previous videos, I'm not going to go into that again. That's the reason why I've done the inside story. So, I'll keep going on and keep pushing on. There's some interviews that you have to wait a little longer for because, they obviously have commitments to big networks and blah, 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 blah. I understand that. I'm no big fish. I understand that. But still respect. You know what I mean? You get somebody to send you an email, and these boxing publicists, some of them, I never heard of them. I don't know if they've even thrown a punch in anger. And you send an email to them, and they haven't even got the courtesy to even respond. And the thing is, I don't think even these fighters know. Only fighters know that what their publicists are doing. Another thing, some of these fighters, they can't even sell a ticket. They can't even pull a crowd in. Don't they understand that they need to build their personalities up? Don't they understand the need to, do more PA work? Or PA? No, PR work. PA. PR work? Do you know? If you're not selling tickets, clearly you need to do more work and get your face out there. And I wouldn't think that BaylorIC TV was that bad. Do you really think it's that bad? The fact that I'd love to have you on the show and talk about your career and let other fans know about you? Come on. I don't understand. See, some of these publicists are failing the actual fighter because they're taking control, but they're not actually aware that the fighter themselves, the fighter's paying them to boost their profile. But if they keep knocking back these interviews and they keep doing these 5-minute interviews and 10-minute slot interviews, and they're saying the same rubbish over and over again, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to my fight. Yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life. Blah 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 blah." Like I've said, you don't get to know the fighter. You don't get to know the promoter. You don't get to know the trainers. You don't get to know them really in depth. And that's what I try and do. I'm not in the business of slamming people, but I will ask the questions. I will ask the questions that you most want the answers to, and myself as a fan. I see myself as a fan first. Be getting the opportunity to talk to a fighter, to hear what they've got to say. There are people I'd love to still interview. I'd love to hear what's going on with Tommy Morrison, the truth about Tommy Morrison, and that would be a great story. I'd love to interview Don King. You know, how he became the world's most famous boxing promoter. You know, Layla Ali, why did she, you know, if it's true she said that she, you know, doesn't support female boxing, would love to hear her views on that. Frank Warren, you know, how he got into boxing and as a manager and a promoter and the stuff that he's had to go through. You know, so many people I'd love to interview. So many people, obviously the big names, Tyson, Holyfield. Of course, I'd love to interview those guys. Of course. Ultimate interview probably would be Sugar Ray Robinson as a boxer. Love to have interviewed Sugar Ray Robinson. But okay, I'll leave it there because I'm rattling on a bit. But I just wanted to say this, just to let you know my frustrations. And yeah, because I feel your family when I talk to you. I feel there are people out there that do listen, and I do read your comments, and I do appreciate your comments. So, you know, thank you for the support, and I'd love to hear your views and your thoughts. And if you have contacts with fighters, or there's somebody you'd like to be interviewed, you know, I will always give credit to the people that help me get the interviews. I always do it. And if you need any help yourself in terms of getting contact for fighters, talk to me. Let's see what we can do. This is about networking, and for me, it's about bringing people together. I'm not in this business of shunning people. Like to share the love. Okay, that's me. I'm out. Take care now.